My name is Toomas Mõttus, and I am responsible for BI and analytics solutions in Primend. And I'm also Microsoft certified on different data-related technologies. I completed my first Microsoft certification at the end of '90s, so I have been Microsoft certified quite a lot of time. And now my specialty in Microsoft technologies is related to analytics platforms. But Primend, when talking about Primend, then we are a company that is creating IT solutions for people who are passionate about making their companies more successful. And although it's not, this passion is not like in this official wording of our mission, then I really like this passion word as it describes how business managers and business owners approach their business and want to improve the lives of people around them and also the people who are working for them. And I can honestly call it as a passion, because only with passion you can go through hard times and good times and still be motivated. And we are offering solutions starting from computer reliability, managing PCs and like desktop computers for companies, to managing servers and also creating business applications, simple business applications on Microsoft Power App Platform, and also creating data warehouse and reporting solutions on Azure Synapse and Power BI. So, and of course, all this is related. We also do some security consulting related to all those platforms that we support, and also are helping our customers to set up different backup and monitoring and security related solutions. And we have a lot of different service offerings related to those fields that we are active. So it's quite a list. So I will not go through those, but to like stress why we are talking about Microsoft products right now is that we consider ourselves best Microsoft specialists in Baltics. We have more than 500 service customers in Baltics. We have more than 100 employees servicing those customers in Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania. And Microsoft has awarded us Country Partner of the Year award like 8 times now. So we are quite good at Microsoft technologies, and not only Microsoft technologies, so our own processes to support our customers efficiently and provide secure solutions for our customers. We have certified ourselves against ISO 9001 and ISO 27001. 27001 is information system security, information security certificate. So we take the security part of this business very seriously. And we have several Microsoft those competencies, gold level competencies. So our people are very well certified, and we know those different products that I'm going to tell you about today quite well. And let's go to this budgeting part then. So why do we budget? So if you're looking from outside, then budgeting is just putting down numbers and creating those Excel spreadsheets, which often is quite tedious and boring work. But budget is important as it describes in numbers the plans you have for next year. So, and from my financial management perspective, there are different things that you have to consider when you are managing a company, starting from like profit production predictions, so that you can understand whether the business you are in is generating actually profit for you. Is it generating cash flow for you? And from line managers' perspective, who are actually very involved in all this budgeting process, budgeting is also important for them to understand what's their like ability to make decisions during financial year, and what investments are available for them. And from company management perspective, it's always managers want employees to take more responsibility and have initiative, but you then have to like guide this initiative. So, and the budget is one of the ways of guiding this initiative and setting boundaries, but within those boundaries, people can be flexible and do their own homework and be more responsible for the everyday tasks. And regarding this, and also the most important part for like times like now, when economy is not doing so well, and we might have some backlashes from exports, and we may have some bad news from different war zones around Europe. Then also we need this budget to see as soon as possible any kind of deviations from our plan, so that if we see those deviations, we can act upon them. And it's not just like a gut feeling that we are doing well, or gut feeling that we are not doing well. We see exact numbers and can act upon those. If we're looking at this process, then usually what we are seeing around us, what our customers usually are doing, is that the step one is like business as usual budget. So different line managers look at like historic data and make prediction based on like sales pipelines, what they are seeing, what will happen in future. So they are making this kind of business as usual budget. And when business as usual budget has been completed, then usually this budget is like from historic perspectives, like when you have been like growing at a rate of 10%, then you probably have put this 10% of growth to next year also, and then you're seeing how will this affect your revenue, how will it affect your personnel costs, and how does it affect your profit and EBITDA and other those like financial KPIs. And when you have this business as usual budget completed, the next step usually is that board of directors or owners will come together and look what is the thing that they want to achieve in the near future. Do they like other opportunities for new markets, or do they have an idea of doing some kind of merger and acquisition process so they can add those required investments, costs, and probable future revenues into this equation, and then you will have this result budget, or like with growth expectation plus financial budget of all the investments. So you compile those into a financial budget. And this is like the step 5 is very often where we end our budgeting process, in sense that we have financial budget, and then we have data that is coming in from ERP systems, and we are comparing those. But if you want to be more agile business and want to bring in data that is actually like showing you how your business will do in near future, then usually you are setting also those performance goals and performance measures, in sense that you will like start measuring not just financial part, but also different, like how many customer those visits your salespeople are doing, how many requests you are getting from customers to your service department, etc. So if you are starting to measure those also, then you will start seeing correlation between salespeople activities, service people activities, and performance of your financial part of the budget. So if you take those put all those into one budget, then you can see that, okay, our budget pipeline is going up. Probably our sales will go up also in like couple of months. So the problem with financial budget is that you often see like it's as a history, but if you have those performance measures, like activities that people are doing, then you can also like see into the future, and it's not just gut feeling, but it's actually based on actual data. And then you can like combine all those things in a performance budget and have this one. But it depends on the organization. So for example, ourselves also, we have financial budget as a separate like a system, and then we have sales budget and service related KPIs also as different, and also we have different system for managing organizational goals. So we have those in all management, like workroom, this workspace, but it's like different reports. So we have not combined it. So we are ourselves, Primend, we are in the middle of this like step 5 and 7. So, and I think this is very normal for most of organizations. So that's okay. And if you have put together this financial budget or performance budget, and you have those like numbers defined, then the next step is this like annual cycle of this budget, where you start collecting data from ERP system and putting those ERP system data and budget data into single report, so that you can start comparing different lines on percentage and actual number, and compare year to date, compare previous year to this year. So you can have all those comparisons and data in single report and have quite pretty good overview what's happening. And then if like all those predictions, forecasts, you cannot see very far into the future. So usually the process is that at the end of spring, sometime in April, May, organizations after first quarter, they make first forecast to understand what's going on in their industry and make predictions for the second part of the year. And some organizations also make the second forecast in September after summer, if you have like summer maybe as your like season when you are making a lot of revenue. And also some are making another budget in October, November, which is like or forecast, which is like almost like exact numbers for a year, so that you can already start, like based on this forecast you had for this year, you can start budgeting process for next year. So this is an ongoing process, and the larger your organization is, the more you have it as ongoing process, not just annual budget creation. And to keep it simple, we use existing tools. So we are using Office 365, Microsoft 365, and Power BI components to support the budgeting process I just showed you. And basically, it consists of 3 main parts. First part is like SharePoint and Excel part, where you can enter data for budgets for different departments, and Power BI side, where all this data from different sources like budget, forecast, ERP system, I don't know, personal management system. Different companies may have like different systems where they get this detailed information of what's actually happening. This is like a Power BI side. And then if you want to like do this like change management for budget, for example, you want to change some numbers from one line item to another line, or you want to add some kind of important investment that has come up and you don't have time to wait for this forecast process, then we can also provide you with a Power App solution where you can have these budget changes or forecast changes as part of this flow, where you can send it to your manager and the manager reviews it and accepts or not. So it's like this kind of process where we're using different Power Platform components and teams as central part to provide this kind of environment. So this is like more like a technical representation of the same stuff. So we have budget files. Also, we can have different budget definition structures if you need to structure your budgets differently than, for example, your financial reports are. And then there's like a small data warehouse in between. It doesn't have to be, it depends on how much data you have in your organization. And then we have Power BI reports different that you can use. So it's like you can have those reports in your own organization CVI, take into account this organization CVI, so they look like your own reports and are very nice to use. But let's go to exactly the solution and see how it works, and I will explain those components, and you understand why we consider it as a very nice solution. The budgeting process starts with entering a budget. So we have this folder. This is a Microsoft SharePoint or Teams. Also, it can be in Microsoft Teams. And if you're looking at this icon, then it actually is a team site in Microsoft Teams. We have a document library in a team site where just finance team has access to all the files. This is okay. This is a development environment and like demo environment for us. But in real life situations, we create this budget document library in a financial team, so that only finance team members can have access to this document library. And here we configure different budgets, and based on this data we enter and also file names, Power BI can take those file names and say that it's a 2023 fiscal year, it's a budget, and it's a budget for department 1. So we can split it up and use parts of this file name as different parameters that we can do filtering on later on in Power BI. And here we are creating this like marketing budget, department budget, some overhead budgets. So we can create all those different budgets. And but the only requirement to have is that all of those budgets, Excel tables must have the same structure. So basically this is like an easy requirement. And access to all of those files is restricted only to finance department. Now, for example, if we need to add a department head to this we want department head to update information in the budget and provide those like prediction numbers that department heads only know. We can share it. So we share, and for example, I take Alexei, the first one is suggested. Alexei will have edit rights, and this is demo sharing, for example. And disregard right now. And Alex will gain access to this document. Now, if budgeting period has ended and I don't want these budget department heads to anymore edit any data in these files, I just take manage access and I take Alex and I can change it. Did something wrong here. Can view. So Alex can only view, and he cannot. This link that I shared with Alex, it will be a view link, or I can take away his access at all, so that he cannot do any kind of changes anymore. And this is important in a sense that if it's in a financial management, this team's work, team's room, then finance manager only, well, like finance team only can see and edit those documents. And if you need to share it with specific people, then you can add those specific people from here, and it's like, let's try something else. If I take here, like say, let's see how it looks like. Okay, I will grant without notification, grant access. And now let's see, is Alex already here? So he can edit and we can like change his, so we can change whether he can edit, he can view, or we can remove his access. Okay. Let's go on. The important thing, another important thing is that if Alex makes any kind of changes, or I did any kind of changes, then I can see it in version management. For example, I see that Thomas made a change sometime at 1 o'clock at night, is it right? Yeah. So probably he wasn't completely like, it isn't like good thing if he made this kind of change. Probably this change here is more reasonable because probably he made some errors when he was changing this document at night. So I can come here and restore, and it will not just restore this version as 14, it will create a new version of the document with version number 17. Right, number 9, okay, I will restore it. Let's see what happens. And now we have, oh my, this is a demo effect. Let's see if if it still created this version. It didn't. No, let's try again. Okay, some technical error. We have to report it to Microsoft probably that there's some sharing error. There hasn't been this kind of error before. Maybe I will try with I don't know if I have version history of some other Okay, here I have also, so I can, let's try here. Maybe I can here show you this restore process. Okay, so with that document, this restoring actually worked. Here it might be that I just shared it with Alex, this first document, and maybe he's editing it, and that's why he looked at this my sharing and he started editing it, and maybe that's why it didn't work with that one. But with this marketing budget, it definitely did work. And I also can set myself alerts. So if I want to see if somebody has been working all those documents here, who has changed what documents, I can schedule those alerts. So I can do that. Anything changes, maybe it's not good. If it's like budgeting process is going on, it will be annoying if you get those notifications every like couple of minutes, but maybe you want to have daily summary, not just immediate, but daily summary, so that at the end of the day you can see who has edited those documents, and so you can understand whether your budgeting process is on track or not. And the most important part of this is, of course, this Excel share online editing capability, so that several people can work on this Excel table at the same time. So if you need to change here some kind of number, and other colleague is working maybe on those lines, you can work together. And the nice thing here is also like this extra capability that, for example, if you want to change here this number and you want to do this calculation, like you have 31 days in the month of March, and every day you have 120 this cost, then you have 3,720, I think, is like in English it's supposed to be said, but that's maybe it's out of line with different other those items. So I think this one is better. And if Power BI imports this this budget, it doesn't import the formula, it imports the end result, so that you can have a lot of different calculations in your table. You can paste, copy, do work with those cells, and Power BI just imports the result, and you can have a lot of different formulas in this table. Another nice feature is that, for example, you are sharing this table with a colleague, but you want your colleague to be able only to edit like first 6 months or something like that, and then you can go and you can protect your sheet. I think it was this one. So you set the password, you protect your sheet. Let's see, you set the password that person has to know to change those values in this, and all of this worksheet. But you can add a range, this range here, which doesn't have a password, and person can actually select it and edit. So there are like these kinds of capabilities already built into Excel, so that you can enable and disable editing some rows, fields, columns. So it's just your imagination how much like different those things you can add here. For example, if I save it and select another region, I can add this other region, so it can be quite complex table in the end. The thing is that you cannot, with Excel, you cannot like manage who can edit which part of the table. So if you want one department to edit, for example, the upper part of the table and another department edit below this like bottom part of the table, then you have to split that table into two parts and manage it to security so that you can share the upper part of the table with one department and lower part of the table with another department, so that in separate Excel documents. So within document, you cannot like manage users. What you can do here is that, for example, you want some, you have problem with that field, for example, and then you want to ask like I will make it for Thomas. Are you sure it is right? Looks like too low number. And then I can write, yeah, no, this one. And then I can assign it as a task. So, and when I submit it, I will receive an email and with a notification that I have task related to this table and I have to review that cell. And when I come back, I can hear a reply say that, well, it is actual number, or yeah, actual sum. I double checked. Yeah, so you can see this kind of log here. And let me, and in my Outlook, there's a message that I have to review it. So I would say it's quite a good functionality. And the important thing I have to like tell it again is that all those tables that we are importing into Power BI for analysis have to have the same structure. Let me see. Is there anything else? Okay. And if I need to make some kind of changes to budget, for example, I know that I had a better hardware sales in Q3, and I need to, as a sales manager, pay more sales bonuses, which may happen quite often, is that then I can like make this like ad hoc budget change and add this change to budget, and then I can see those changes in budget, and budget is like more correct. Sometimes organizations decide that the budget I made at the beginning of the year is the budget and I'm not changing it. In that case, you do not use this like small application, but there is an opportunity to have this as part of this, like making small amendments to budget if you already know costs which are happening, or additional revenue which will happen in next month, so that you can make your colleagues and financial department aware of those changes. And when you have entered all this data, then we connect those Excel tables, and it was a wrong thing. We connect all those Excel tables and ERP export, financial data export from your accounting system into a single report. So we can design it for your requirements and have different filters. For example, here we have filter for country filter, so we can say that currently we are seeing numbers for Estonia and Latvia, but we can also add Lithuania here, and interface will show me what country I have currently as active. So I will have different numbers that with different filters built into interface, so it's quite easy to use, and I don't have to use any complex stuff. Here I can also manage the period, what I'm looking. I can look at the departments so that I can select those departments, and it will apply those department filters. And the nice thing is like new functionality of field parameters that we are using here. Is like about a year-long capability in Power BI. But what it enables us to do is that we can have a table where we can just change KPIs. So for example, here I have budget and actual, but as I click here, I can add those fields and remove those fields. And for example, I can remove budget, I can add actual last year, and I can add like difference here, and then maybe I want to see budget still, what budget is, and if I have forecast, I can also have forecast. So it's just clicking here. And with every those fields, I can do some kind of drill through and go and see what kind of actual costs I had with those specific lines, so that I can do this drill down and look at this specific cells. Here we haven't implemented the functionality, but it's also possible to have as a tooltip. So if you are going to some field and you hover over that field, it will open a tooltip for that field. If it's a more simple table here, if we have lots of journal entries, maybe it's too complex. But if you have like a couple of departments, maybe only, and then you have like a report for all departments, you can have here a tooltip how this cost is spread across your departments, for example. Or if you have a revenue, how this revenue is spread across your departments. And you can also select years. So this is like a how to say, a simple financial report. We can build KPI dashboards. So for example, if we need to see some kind of charts, how we are doing actually, and to see dynamics, then we can have different charts, and we can also schedule so that you will have this report in your mailbox like weekly or so. For example, I can create here a subscription, and I want it to have in my mailbox weekly on Mondays. So let's take away all other days. So on Monday at 8 o'clock, it will send me this report into my mailbox. And if I come to work at 8 o'clock, then this will be the first mail in my mailbox, and I can have a look at this report and already like do some kind of plans for the week. And also, if I have those things on my dashboard, I can do alerts, but if some numbers are not lining up and I need to look more into those numbers and alert people. For example, if your sales result is less than expected, you can create a automatic message that will automatically notify your sales manager or sales director that, hey, I noticed that sales results are below expectation, and what are your plans to increase sales for next month? This mail will go out to the sales manager automatically, so you don't have to and do that work yourself, you just get the reply that, hey, I'm just doing this, and we are planning this event and that event, and our salespeople have planned several meetings, and so you will have this kind of reply only. You don't have to write the message yourself because it was automatically sent. Okay, I will not make any changes here, but let's go back to the presentation and see what's usually the implementation process. So when we are looking at the implementation process, then it takes a couple of weeks at least. So usually from like work standpoint, we can do it in less than a month. But the hard part is finding time for coordination with key people in our customer organization, that is your organization, because you are all very busy people, and we have to go through all those processes and understand what is your process and what reports do you want to see and how do you want those reports to look like. And that is usually what takes time, because we have to find time that's suitable for you. And so we spread this project usually out to 1.5 months usually, but in 1.5 months we should be able to complete any budgeting process. And every project starts with Ignite step, which means that we are kicking off the project. We are checking that we have access to all the financial data systems and SharePoint and all the other data sources. Then we create the template together for data entry or budget entry. If you already have one, then we will review it and update so that it will be easier to import. And then we create the data model where we bring together ERP data and budget data, and then we have report ready data, and that's when it usually takes a longer time, and it requires also your effort is to review whether this report is in a form that is informative to you, and what kind of KPIs we have to define so that you can like show these report numbers in a way that your people understand. And this is the part that usually takes the longest to like review it and customize the report. And of course, at the end of every project, we have training, because without training, it's not possible to use the system, and it's too complex. So basically, that's it. I showed you those easy parts. If you looked at this, like everybody knows how to use Excel, so it's like very easy to start using it. Almost every Microsoft customer uses Teams, so we have this Teams site as a place where we are managing those security, so it's very easy to start using. And the Power BI report, as I showed you, it's very easy to use with the on-screen filters. So it's like all those components are very easy to use. There is, of course, some technical expertise required to make all those parts work together flawlessly. So we can provide you this technical expertise, and we can do those projects in Lithuania, Latvia, Estonia. So as it's an IT project, then there is actually no limit where we can do it. We just need internet access, and we can do it. So this is it. Do we have any questions submitted? So we don't have any questions, but if you still have, maybe you will review that presentation later on, and you will have some questions. Then I think on this next slide, you have this info Primend. You can send your questions to that email, or the Martin's or Dada's email where you receive this information about this presentation. So you can also write to Martin's or Dada's, and they will answer you, and you will get all the information you need. Good. So I think that concludes our seminar, and I welcome you to our next seminars. We are doing those seminars quite regularly, so check out our webpage, and see you soon.